Definitely excited to be on with you guys. Today's topic is extremely important. Um, and the reason is because everybody wants to offer $1 million in business funding, but not everybody can offer $1 million in business funding, meaning that most banks and lenders, right, whether they like to believe it or not, they're usually going to cap out 250, 500K. Those types of deals, right, is where most lenders and most banks really start to shut down their lending. In that they're not able to get much more than that. I even know of some banks and lenders out there that'll tell you that we lend up to $2 million or we lend up to $5 million, but then the numbers, when we do the numbers, right, when we take a look at what are their approvals, they're only approving for a max of 500K or $400,000, right? So it's not just about saying that you can get somebody $1 million. It's about being able to actually deliver on it. And I thought that it was a great time for us to talk about it, as March Madness is in full swing. Rich says, unfortunately, it won't be UConn this year. The men's or the women's will take it though. All right, all right. Listen, it could be, right. You never know. It could be one of those historical runs. Um, I'd like to think that St. John's got a chance, but that's the New Yorker in me. Um, so let's get this thing going here. Excited to, like I said, be on with you guys. I'm super excited for today's topic. If you don't know, now you know. I am Tony Semino, VP of Business Development here at ROK Financial, and my role is lead generation. It's helping to make sure that we have business to work on here, right? And when we are working on business, there's definitely got to be a quality meter in there, right? I could teach you how to generate leads. That don't mean that they're going to be the best, right? Well, I could teach you how to generate the best leads too. That's part of what I like to think I'm good at. But no, the point that I'm trying to make is $1 million business loan, like we're going to talk about today, and like you're going to learn, it's certainly going to come with $1 million qualifications, right? Um, so how can a client qualify or secure $1 million loan? And what I want you guys to know is this is not just $1 million. This is about getting access to $2 million. This is about getting access to $5 million. This is about getting access to 10 and $20 million. If you can't access a million, you're not getting to 20. That's the nature of the beast. I can assure you that. So what we're going to talk about today is exactly that. How can somebody secure upwards of $1 million? What are the biggest determining factors in getting $1 million? Right? What does the timeline look like for approval and for funding? What products typically are qualifying business owners for up to $1 million? These are all the questions that you guys are going to have answered today in our short presentation here, right? If you want to talk about borrowing money, right? You want to talk about borrowing money. Well, when it comes to business funding, and you want to talk about borrowing money, you better start with the use of funds. Why is a business borrowing the money to begin with? Right? Are they borrowing it for hiring, marketing, any product advancements, perhaps partner buyouts or mergers and acquisitions, right? Could it be more operational costs where it's going to be like working capital usages, where they're going to purchase equipment, they're going to do renovations, they'll expand their facility or add new technologies? These are all reasons why businesses borrow money, and why they borrow the money will then start to establish what products and what banks and lenders make the most sense, right? So when you're talking about getting funding, does not matter if you're talking about 10,000 or $10 million. The biggest question is, what are you doing with the money, right? And that's always going to be the case. The one thing that I want you guys to understand with today's topic is it's going to be very similar to some of the requirements and some of the things you might have heard us talk about in the past. The difference is there's heightened awareness around all of this stuff, right? If you're going to say that you're going to use $1 million for working capital, we're going to need to know what that breakdown is. What percentage is going towards new equipment, what percentage is going towards expanding your facility or making renovations or purchasing new technology. This is the breakdown that they want to understand, because they want to know dollars are going to make sense, right? So if your dollars don't make sense, they're not going to give you a million of them. I can assure you that, right? So number one is it starts with use of funds. right? And if you're looking for $1 million plus in business funding, you need to know what options are available to you. Well, these are the options that we offer currently here at ROK Financial that will get you a million, 2 million, 5 million, even $10 million in business funding, right? It could be revenue based financing, it could be a business line of credit, it could be accounts receivable financing, it could be an SBA loan, it could be commercial real estate lending. These are the products that are going to service the need for $1 million plus, right? And understanding the products will then start to understand the requirements, right? And that's the idea is we back our use of funds into the right product or products, and then we understand what are the qualifications for those products, and do our prospects meet those qualifications, right? So here's a couple of quick tips for you. Some things that you need to know if you're going to qualify for $1 million plus, right? I would tell you that you're probably looking at least 2, 3 years in business. And the reason is because a lot of those products that we just talked about, they're going to require 2, 3 years of business tax returns, of financial statements, right? Of history of the business, right? Knowing these things are only going to come up in the future. Well, then we know that our qualifications are you got to be at least in business for a couple years. You can't have 2 years of financials if your business has only been around for a year. Does that make sense? Right. And I hope it does. But that's a very baseline, right? If you're looking for $1 million plus in lending, your business is probably making 5 million to $150 million plus in annual revenue, right? These are really non-negotiables when it comes to qualifying for $1 million plus, right? If you're going to look for $1 million, well, guess what? You got to be able to afford it, right? And affording it comes down to how much money are you making, how much money are you keeping, and what does that typically look like for you, right? Some paperwork check, a quick paperwork checklist for you. Some things that are going to be required for borrowers that are looking for $1 million plus. It's definitely going to be at least 6 to 12 bank statements. I mentioned 2 to 3 years of tax returns and business financials, as well as an existing business debt schedule. We want to know what debt does the business currently owe, and does that allow us to come in and offer this type of funding, or be able to even service the debt, right? There's what's called the debt service coverage ratio, right? So that will establish, can this business even afford $1 million plus, or how much can the business afford, right? Again, it's really going to come down to any business that's looking for $1 million plus. They should be aware that their options are going to be based on their qualifications and their use of funds, right? So, a business's qualifications could be that it's based on, hey, what's that debt schedule look like, right? And they might not be qualified because the business already has too much debt, right? Or it could be something that there's something on the financial statements, right? Or they just don't simply make enough money to afford $1 million. So it's pretty straightforward, but it's also very, very effective in the explanation when you start to put all of this stuff together, right? So just keep your eye on that. I do see some questions dropping into the chat. Again, please utilize the Q&A so that I can make sure that I answer those in order, and get those questions answered for you. But some long-term benefits of getting a business loan of $1 million, right? It's not necessarily always about what happens right away, but what happens after the loan, right? Because a lot of the products, right? If we go back to the products that we were talking about before, if you're not talking about a commercial mortgage or something that's tied to commercial real estate, the typical terms are going to be anywhere between 12 and 36 months, right? Revenue based financing, accounts receivable lines, and factoring, the business line of credit, they're all going to be based on short term, right? So what I got some really good advice from one of our lenders, and I've heard them use this time and time again when they talk about people that are borrowing big money, and what's the cost, and how does it work, and this and that. Well, the long term idea is that we're here when you need us and gone when you don't, right? Meaning that, hey, you need to borrow $1 million, there's going to be cost, right? It's going to fall somewhere in the range, right? And I'm not exactly sure where your business is going to qualify for, but it's going to cost you money. It's not going to be free, I can assure you that. But once you've paid back the loan, right, and you've paid it back, well, now the idea is that you just have access to that money, right? Any of the benefits that came from borrowing that money the first time, you continue to reap the rewards of, right? So a lot of times businesses are borrowing money because they're doing things like purchasing in bulk, right, to create a savings. Right. So if you're able to create a savings this time around, how much money do you make when you flip your product? Right. A lot of times businesses talk about, hey, I can make more product or a new product, or I'm buying out a partner, or I'm going to purchase a competitor's business, or I'm merging with another business, right? If these are what you're doing with the money, there's going to be long-term benefits to that, right? You're going to see enhanced sustainability, right? You're going to see a business that has flexibility to borrow more money in the future, right? So all of these things are going to be what long-term success is going to come from borrowing $1 million, right? There's a cost to not taking the money, to not taking advantage of the opportunity, to not going through and not taking out a loan, right? I get that, but you should be aware of what are the benefits of taking the capital, right? And what are the long-term benefits? Because it's not just about getting access to the funding, it's about all the things that you're able to do with the funding and what is that long-term impact on your business as a business owner, right? So when you're talking about borrowing $1 million+, right, and you're starting to talk about the banks or lender side of things, right, what are they really looking at? Well, number one is every lender wants to believe that they're overprotected on their investment. How do they overprotect themselves? Well, number one could be collateral, right? They might require collateral. If you're talking about the SBA, they're going to require all of the collateral that the business has. They want to protect their deals with, right? So it could be collateral. It could be the interest rate. Right? The interest rate might be a little bit higher because they want to overprotect on their investment. They don't want to be underprotected, right? The second thing that they're going to look at is, can you repay it? Right? How are you repaying it? Right? Is this a situation where you're going to sit here and tell me that, hey, if I get $1 million, I'm going to then be able to pay it back? Or is it a situation where if I get $1 million, I can already pay it back, right? Because that's what they want to see. They want to know whether your plan goes right or wrong, that you could still afford their lending either way, right? And that goes into the last part, which is low risk, right? So business owners, lenders and banks, you start talking about more than $250,000 or $500,000, and they're going to take much less risk. So you have to make sure that your business is set up in a way, and your application is set up in a way where it makes the most sense for you to borrow $1 million+, right? And that's not an easy thing to do. You might think that it is, especially some of these business owners. They're they're definitely passionate about their businesses, right? But I've heard time and time again somebody say, "Oh, if I had $1 million, I wouldn't need you guys, right? If I made $1 million, I wouldn't need you guys." That's totally not the case. We have businesses every single day that between 5 million and 150 million are applying for funding and looking to utilize ROK to gain access to that capital. So definitely make sure that you're aware of what the lenders are looking for, what your clients should keep in mind in terms of documentation and qualifications, as well as, hey, what does it actually take to go and get that much money, right? And it's an important part of working with businesses, right? Is being able to establish, hey, this is a reasonable expectation for what you could potentially qualify for, right? So a couple of mistakes, some things that borrowers make, that could potentially be prevented before they even fill out an application, right? Is how long have they been in business? What's their credit score, right? Do they have any collateral? If so, is it enough collateral? Right? Is there enough equity in the collateral? Right? They don't have a business checking account. They're not able to afford $1 million. Right? If you were able to take $1 million over 12 months, right? A 12-month $1 million loan, no interest. It's $83,333 will be your payment every single month, right? That's without any interest. So if your business doesn't make that, or it's not profiting or generating that much, well, then you already can't afford it. How are you going to afford it if we can't even give you the principal? right? So the idea has to be that they can afford it, that they have the business set up in a way that they're able to overprotect, or really lower the risk of their application by having strong credit, having the right type of collateral, having the right type of equity in that collateral, being in business, showing that they've sustained, right? Um, a lot of the businesses that we see getting access to this much funding, guys, if I'm being totally honest, they're the ones that weathered the storm in COVID, right? They're not the ones that popped up after COVID, right? Most of these businesses that we see getting access to a million, 2 million, 5 million, $10 million in funding, they've been around 15, 20, 25 years, right? I'll give you an example. I had somebody call me the other day. They had a marketing company. The marketing company made $15 million a year. Well, $15 million last year, and over $1.5 million in EBITDA, meaning they basically profited over $1.5 million, right? That's essentially, that's why I said basically. It's not really profit, but that's essentially what that means, right? If you go to the bank and you told them that you had $1.5 million in EBITDA, they would love that, right? Their bank, Chase, would only give them 200K because of their industry, because they're in marketing and they're not big enough to give enough money to, right? They're kind of in this weird in between where like Chase is like, hey, you're not out there, you're not, you're not Gary V or Grant Cardone, right? One of these gigantic marketing companies, right? That are helping businesses or doing whatever you're doing. You're making a good amount of money, but you're not making 100 million. You're not making 500 million. You're not making a couple $1 billion a year, right? So you're not big enough for us to give you money, and we look at you more as a small business. And because of your industry, you're capped at 200 grand, right? So they literally were applying with us because Chase, their bank, had capped them in the lending that they could get access to, and it just didn't make sense for them, right? So I promise you that these businesses are things that you can come across, right? So if you're looking for, oh, sorry, that went too fast. That's the one. There we go. Sorry about that. So if you're looking to provide your clients with some reasonable um, insight and some reasonable push in the right direction, right? Number one is does their need support having $1 million, right? If their need is that they want to take it and they want to throw an extravagant Sweet 16 for their daughter, it's probably not the best use of funds. Right. If their use of funds is that they're going to purchase a competitor and that competitor's business already makes money and it's going to allow them to establish a new market, or they're going to expand their market, right? And we can tell a great story. Well, that's a big part of it, right? Make sure that they're ready, right, to apply. Make sure that they have all their documents in order. Make sure that they're available. Make sure that they're ready to go through the process of applying, right? They have to have open lines of communication. I can assure you, anybody that's going to lend your client $1 million, they're going to want to talk to them. It's not one of these deals where they're going to get it through a portal and it's going to happen, with nobody talking to them. That's not the case. A lot of times, the underwriters, the banks, they want to get on the phone with the borrower. They usually do some sort of interview that establishes before they'll even issue an approval of those types of sizes, right? They might issue like a pre-approval, but like as far as a solidified approval, a lot of times you got to get on the phone and discuss your business, discuss your opportunity, and make it make sense to the bank and the lender, right? So they got to be ready for ongoing communication. It could be negotiations back and forth, meaning that a lot of times we see redlined agreements in some of this stuff, right, where they're changing verbiage, they're updating the contracts, right? All of this stuff happens when you're talking about these larger transactions. So make sure that you're preparing your customers for that, and your clients know what to expect, right? So how do you prepare your bank statements? Well, make sure that you have them. Right. Number one is make sure that you've downloaded business bank statements for all operational accounts. Right. I can assure you that that's what they're going to want to see. They're going to want to see how the money moves through the business. Right. Show consistent revenue. Right. You can do this through your or consistent revenue growth, even, right? That you can show this through your tax returns, you can show this through your financials and your bank statements. It's all going to paint a picture of your business, right? Make sure you have a solid team and network that can help you put this stuff together. CPAs, right, come to mind. Bookkeepers come to mind. CFOs come to mind. These are usually the types of people that end up getting involved in these types of transactions because there's additional documentation that might be needed, supporting documentation that might be needed, right? If one line is off on one of these documents, they're going to request additional documents that show supporting information around that, right? And ultimately, I know we've talked about it since the very first slide going into this, is a clear and concise use of funds, right? If you can define with clarity how you're going to utilize the capital, well, that's only going to make it much more impactful for you when you do actually apply, because now there's a clear and concise, not only use of funds, but then game plan for actually what you're going to do with the money when you get it, right? Once you've done that, you are now ready to apply. So some things, right? If you're brand new, I want to talk to you for a second. If you're uh, somebody that hasn't partnered with ROK, I want to talk to you for a second, right? We do these webinars every single month. These webinars are of value back to you, right? I don't know if you know this, and as much as I want you to, but all of the information that I just gave you is not just ROK information, right? If you have $1 million loan, do I want you to send it to me? Yeah. I want you to send me the $5 million loans. I want you to send me the $10 million loans. I want you to send me the $10,000 loans. That's what I want. I want loans from 10,000 to $10 million. You got them? I want them, right? That's it, right? So if you're looking for like what ROK needs and what ROK wants, that's it. I want all your deals between 10 and 10,000 and $10 million. That's what I want. But this isn't really about me. This is about you guys, right? We do these webinars every single month so that what we're experiencing on the front lines when a borrower does look to go for $1 million, we can provide that resource back to you guys, right? Our partners. So that's what this is all about. These webinars, they're all about you guys, our affiliates. They're all about giving you guys the information that we're learning so that you can go ahead and apply it to your own businesses. You can go fund $1 million business at Chase. You can go fund $1 million business outside of ROK, right? I want you to send them to ROK, but all the information that I just gave you pertains to ROK and it pertains to Chase. That's the beauty of the information that you just got, right? So now I'm going to give you a little bit of ROK information. Some things that we can do for you, right? If you're somebody that's not partnered with ROK or you are just partnering with ROK, we offer aggressive commissions. We offer residual income where you can earn an override for as long as people are doing business with ROK. We offer funding in as little as 24 to 48 hours, right? We have funding available in all 50 states. These are the benefits back to you if you want to work with ROK. You're going to get access to multiple points of contact on our team where you'll have a dedicated business development officer and funding advisor, as well as production coordinator, your own funding team here at ROK that are going to be there to help you rock out uh, and get business owners funded, right? You can get direct access to our Salesforce CRM. Every affiliate that joins the platform gets access to our CRM where there's training, there's marketing materials. You can obviously upload leads and track your pipeline and all of your commissions, but there's also different experiences. If you want to go into the marketing channel, you can white label the service. You can co-brand all of the marketing material. It's up to you. You can drag your logo in. It will update all the marketing material and give you your own customized marketing material so that you can go out and generate these leads. Everybody's also going to get access to our offer calculator, where you and your borrowers, when they've been approved, and not everybody might be aware of this, even if you are working with ROK, but every borrower that is approved through ROK, they all get an easy to use calculator feature that shows them how much money they've been approved for, and based on the term that they select, it will show them what their payments will be, and what the next steps are to take advantage. Excuse me, to take advantage of that. Excuse me, got a little tickle in my throat. Normally I have water here and I don't. Um, Rookie move, rookie move. um, but no, the idea is we're supporting you guys through technology, through sales support, through marketing support. We want you to know that you're an extension of our business, and our business is an extension of yours. Excuse me. I think I'm okay. We'll figure it out. All right. First time we had a slide about this one. This one gets me excited. I don't know if you guys were on the last webinar that we did. I'm dying here. It's killing me. I think I'll be okay. We'll figure it out. We have an affiliate loyalty program. Did you guys know about this? In the chat, really quick? Yes, no. Do you know about the affiliate loyalty program? Did you get emails? Did you see it on social media? I want to know. Jim doesn't know about it. Thomas doesn't know about it. Lisa doesn't know about it. Brescia doesn't know about it. What's going on? Nobody knows. Emily, we got to create the awareness. What's going on? There we go. I think that was it. I'm back now. I'm back. Nobody knows. Well, just so you know, ROK rolled out our affiliate loyalty program. Shout out to Jack. They know. I love it. All right, cool. Mary Lou, you funded a deal yesterday. I love it. This is our most recent reason that you should be doing business with ROK Financial. For each and every deal that you fund from the beginning of the year all the way through the end of Q2, we are running a raffle. And on our July webinar, I will be pulling a live winner on the webinar where we will be giving out I'm dying here. We're going to be giving out $5,000 cash. And that is directly back to you. It does not matter how large the transaction or small the transactions are that you're funding. You don't need to fund $1 million business loan to be entered into the raffle. Every deal that you fund in the first half of this year, we are giving away $5,000 to start out Q3 for anybody that was that funded a deal in the first half of the year. So definitely excited to have you guys as affiliates, working with ROK, affiliated with us, partnering with us, whatever term you want to use. We're definitely excited to have you guys working with us more than anything. And we spent the better part of a couple hours, meeting at the end of last year. As well as a few different meetings to start this year. And that really, oh, look at that. Thank you, Jen. Jen got me some water because I'm literally dying here. They're telling me in the chat, Jen, that I got to get water. That's how bad it is. It's bad. Instant satisfaction, though. Instantly changed. Thank you, Jen. No, this was something that we debated. We talked about maybe flying somebody out here. We talked about what that type of a reward might bring, and it just came down to cash is king, right? If I'm being honest, cash is king, right? We all kind of talked through it. We had some really great ideas, but the one that kept ringing true is that if we give out cash, everybody's going to be excited by it, right? So $5,000 just for funded deals through ROK. That means that all of you on this webinar right now, how many we got? Probably lost some people with my coughing, but how many people we got right now? 106 still on the webinar, 106 strong. All of you should be referring all of your businesses to ROK, right? That's what it means. Remember, all your deals from 10,000 to 10 million, that's what Tony wants, right? What Tony wants, Tony gets. Don't tell my wife that, though. She hasn't gotten that message yet. Right. So I know I talked about what are the products that actually qualify people for over $1 million, right? $1 million plus dollars. But here's the rest of ROK's products, right? All of the products on the platform, really allowing you guys to take full advantage of what we offer. Some minimum requirements for us overall, in case you're not familiar, we do require at least 3 to 6 months time in business, $10,000 plus per month in revenue, and as well as having a business checking account, right? That business checking account has to be in effect for the 3 to 6 months. That's how we measure the time in business, right? Is based on the how long the business checking account's been open. So make sure that your customers, if you're going to refer them to ROK, they meet these minimum requirements. If so, you rock, we roll. Let's make it happen. All right. Couple of things, right? Some ROK customer overview. This is for all of you on the call, whether you're super experienced with us. You've funded a ton of deals. You're like Mary Lou, you funded one yesterday, or anybody else who might be newer to working with us. Our top industries, as you can see here, anything from retail, manufacturing, transportation, construction, restaurants, healthcare. Inside of healthcare, you have like doctors, dentists, any type of home health care or healthcare facilities, right? Inside of construction, it's not just general contracting and construction; it's all of the specialized trades as well. So HVAC, plumbing, roofing, siding, electricians, custom cabinetry, all that type of stuff. Um, Restaurants, that could be restaurants, that could be food trucks, that could be chains, that could be franchises. It really does give you the full range. Things like auto repair is also a great industry for us. Barbershops and hair salons and nail salons, any personal or professional services are also great industries, right? Professional services meaning like insurance brokerages, realtors, mortgage and excuse me, mortgage and CPAs, right? Like those types of services. Top states, you got New York, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Florida, Texas, Georgia, California, Michigan, North Carolina, South Carolina. I'll give you a few more. You got New Jersey, you got Pennsylvania, I said. You got New Jersey, you have Virginia, you have um, Arizona, New Mexico, a lot of big states and big populations. That's where we're doing big numbers of business, right? But that doesn't mean that if you live in a smaller state or a smaller city that we're not doing business there. I promise you, we do business in all 50 states all of the time, and we're constantly lending from. Like I said, 10,000 to $10 million, like it says at the bottom here, right? And funding is available in as little as 12 to 24 hours, right? So make sure that you understand who Rock's customers are, where they are, and how we might be able to help the businesses that you're coming across. Right? Don't take my word for it. If you're not partnered with us, jump on Best Company, jump on Trustpilot, head over to Google, check out our reviews, and make sure that you're working with a reputable company. You don't just have to take my word for it, but partner with anybody who is a reputable company. If you are brand new and you aren't working with us yet, and you don't have access to the CRM, you've never seen the loan calculator that I talked about, all of this is new to you. Well, I'm inviting you now to scan this QR code on your screen, become an affiliate, and the longer that I talk, hopefully more of you are scanning this QR code because that's the mentality that I have. So the longer I talk on this slide, the more of you are going to complete it, and that's the more leads that my team's going to get to work on. No, I'm totally making that up. But I do want you to know, if you are scanning this QR code here, the team is ready to reach out. We are excited to chat with you, and we do want to partner with anybody who wants to partner with us. So let's rock and get it going. Scan this QR code now and become a partner, and we'll get you access to all those great things that we talked about. If you're just looking to get some questions answered, feel free to email us, info@rock.biz. You can call us. You can jump over on the website. There's all sorts of information on there, from blogs to product information and all the product pages. There's partner information on there. So feel free to utilize all of that when reaching out to us. If you just have some basic questions that you're looking to get answered, we're more than excited to answer those things for you. And definitely make sure that you stay tuned for more information about our April webinar coming up in just a few short weeks here. We'll get you guys some more information as we've wrapped up this one and move on to the next one. So really appreciate you guys being on. Thanks so much again, and hopefully we'll catch you guys on the next webinar. Thanks, everybody. Hope you guys have a great day.